Hey guys, it's Tinker Tailor here today, bringing you back another Pokemon build series video. Today we have Flareon, who is a fire-type Pokemon, and so far out of all the Eevees, I would say this one's probably the most fox-like. I guess? I don't know. I don't really hang out with foxes, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I don't even think we have many foxes in Australia. Like, I'm sure we have them around, but I just, yeah, they're not really something we see a lot. But yeah, this one is very, very orange, and it has a big, big bushy tail, which is sort of like a cream colour, and it's got a little patch of fur on its head, and around, like a ring around its neck that are the same sort of colour. And yeah, like Eevee is still, and the other one so far, it is 87.5% male and 12.5% female, which again, interesting. I'm not sure why, but yeah, whatever, like, you know, interesting. And with Flareon, I thought it would kind of make sense to make a, a blacksmith's shop / home. And so that's kind of what I went and did. Now, the blacksmith area is, yeah, probably not usable, since blacksmithing is not really a thing in The Sims 4, but the house should be pretty, I say pretty usable, it's like sort of usable. There's no fridge, but there is a bed, a stove, a fireplace, a dining table with a chair, and a sitting area, and a wardrobe. Actually, there's 2 wardrobes. So yeah, there's that. And then I do a little outhouse type thing where it does have a toilet and a sink. I tossed up whether or not I wanted to put a sink in because running water is not really exactly known in medieval times. It's not really, you know, super well known depending on where you are. And so yeah, I thought, yeah, to make it usable, I'll add it in. That's fine. We'll make it usable. There's also a mirror in the little outhouse bathroom type thing. But yeah, I don't know. It's just a fun little build. It's nothing too fancy, but it's also nothing too boring either. And it is, I don't want to say pack restricted, but I only had 1 page of, and not even a full page, but 1 page of packs and kits. And I would say some of the items are just things that I've used 1 or 2 things from. I would say the most used things in this build are probably Cottage Living and, what's the other one? Get Together, I believe. I think those 2 are the most used in this build. The Cottage Living is a lot of the landscaping, and then, yeah, Get Together is a lot of the actual house itself. So yeah, if you're interested in downloading it, definitely check it out. The packs will always be down in the description below, along with the kits. I feel like the fairy pack that's coming out, the expansion pack, I think there'd probably be some stuff in there that would be pretty useful and helpful here. But yeah, it's not out yet, so I made do with every other pack and kit that is Build By related. So, you know, I did pretty well. I've got some stuff to work with here. And I did take an inspo photo from the internet. I did look up I think I looked up small blacksmith, I think I looked up blacksmith shop, medieval blacksmith shop or something like that. And I believe it was like a 3D render or a model or something like that I took my inspiration from. It was really, really cool. So yeah, it was kind of fun and interesting, and really helped me get something together that made sense, you know. I didn't follow it to the letter, but yeah, I definitely had a lot of fun figuring things out, you know. It had very similar to this build, it had a building to the left, and then to the right was this little spot where the smithing area was. It had the fireplace in the corner and had these, like, an anvil and all this other stuff. It was really, really cool. I was a little bit limited by The Sims and decided to take a little bit of inspiration myself and just figure it out how I wanted to do it, you know. There were certain things that we don't have in The Sims. There are certain things I didn't feel like putting in. There were certain things I did feel like putting in. So I kind of just, yeah, took definitely some inspiration from it, but also had a lot of fun just messing around and kind of making it up as I went along. So yeah, this medieval blacksmith mostly deals with daggers, knives, swords, that sort of stuff, which makes sense. You know, that's most of what people see when they go to blacksmithing. But blacksmiths also do stuff like horseshoes, and that's all I can really think of. But basically, yeah, anything that required metal work, it would be done, yeah, at a blacksmith. So I did put a few things around that kind of, like I put some pots and pans down as well. I'm not entirely sure if a blacksmith would make pots and pans, but I put them down just in case. Just, yeah, kind of having a little bit of fun with it, you know? It's one of those things where, yeah, I just wanted to have fun. I wanted to do something different, and I'm kind of really proud with how it turned out. Does it make sense completely? No, not really. Is it entirely historically accurate? Probably not. But is it a usable build? And is it fun? I'm pretty sure it is. I feel like it is. Like I said, the bedroom, well, I say the bedroom, the house bit should be pretty usable. The blacksmithing area, obviously, probably not. And then, yeah, there's a little outhouse, which should also definitely be usable. I don't playtest these builds, but I do have a good understanding, I say an okay understanding of how the Sims work, like how the actual Sims function and move around. So I feel pretty confident in saying that this one is, yeah, mostly usable. There's only one thing I forgot to do, which was I was going to put a little chair out the front on that little balcony area. Completely forgot. Absolutely, completely forgot. So I do apologise. There is no outdoor sitting area, which I did want to do. I wanted to put a few little wooden chairs out there, maybe a little table, just so you could sit and watch the world, you know, from your little front porch, which is something, if it wasn't so cold right now, I would absolutely love to do. I don't know, I'm having a lot of problems with the temperature right now because it's cold and I'm pretty sure I've got the world's worst circulation. I get really bad leg pain, mostly leg pain, but sometimes back pain as well. Back pain from shivering, leg pain from poor circulation. So I have a little heater, a little portable heater that I turn on for like an hour in the morning, and I keep the door closed so that the heat stays in the room. But because the door's closed, there's not fresh air, and because there's not fresh air, it's not as much fresh oxygen, and so my lungs start to hurt. But my lungs also start to hurt when it's really, really cold. So yeah, I'm kind of struggling a little bit with that. And the problem is, like, if it gets bad, I will open the door, but by that time, my roommates have probably turned on the air for the whole house to heat it up a little bit. And it's not very high either. It's on 21, I believe, which, like, during summer that's cold, during winter that's warm. But it also doesn't help, and so I either have to open the windows or go outside, and then yeah, I have to deal with the fact that it's like bitingly cold, and it's not a fun little cycle to be in. So yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go back to my what I would do last year was heat up a heat pack, and I would basically just either put it on my tummy or put it behind me on my chair and just heat up my lower torso, which is where normally, like, I start shivering. That's what starts hurting first, is my lower back. So if I heat that up first, it's probably gonna not be as cold. But also when it's on my tummy, I put my hands on it, so I warm my hands up, and your extremities are one of the first things to get cold. So you have your fingers, your toes, your head, your armpits, that sort of stuff. So yeah, I definitely try and keep the things that get cold first warmer, but also the things that get sore first warmer. So I might have to resort to that. That's what I do to go to bed. So the little heater is in this little office space. I'm very lucky to have a little office space. Every time I talk about it, I want to be very clear. I'm very, very grateful to have it. Because at the last couple of places I've lived, yeah, it's been my bed, my bedroom and an office at the same place at the same time, and it's not been very good to stay focused. So yeah, I've been very grateful for that, but I also do share it with one of my roommates, Onion, and because we've got computers in here and a little heater, it's like the warmest room in the house, but when I go to bed, I have to heat up my heat pack because I don't trust this heater. It's like the world's dodgiest heater, and I don't want it setting the house on fire or exploding or anything like that. So I just heat up the little heat pack and kind of curl around that as I go to sleep, and that seems to be the best for my lungs. Not at heating me up because I'm still, absolutely freezing. I'll actually heat it up, put it in my bed, I'll go, brush my teeth, go to the toilet, that sort of thing, and then I'll get into bed, so there'll be a warm spot where both the mattress and the blanket are warm. So usually I put it around where my back will be, sometimes upper back, sometimes lower back, and then, when I actually get into bed, I will move it to the next coldest spot. So if I'm having leg pain, it'll go to my leg first, but if not, sometimes I'll put it higher up so my upper back gets warm, and then when I get into bed, I'll move it to my lower back. And then I just start moving it around, and then I wake up in the middle of the night and it's cold and I'm laying on it and it's uncomfortable, and I'll just throw it somewhere, and in the morning I have to get up and find it. It's a fun little game we play every night during winter. I don't know. Let me know down below, you guys, what do you guys do to keep warm during winter? I know some people have electric blankets. I'm definitely terrified of those and being, having set the house on fire. After having a candle explode, I just don't trust anything that can set the house on fire. So, I'm very, very concerned about that. And I'm sure people who work in the firefighting industry are very appreciative of the fact that I don't take risks like that. Like, the only time I ever leave the heater unattended is when I go and make myself a cup of tea, because I know I will be quick and I know I will be straight back. But every other time, will not leave it unattended. If I'm leaving the room to go make myself a second cup of tea, I'll turn it off. Because by then it's warm. If I'm making myself a second cup of tea, it's warm enough in here to turn it off. I'm also saying cup of tea very weirdly. Like, just then I said it normally, but before I was saying cup of tea. I don't know. It was like a weird way of saying it. But anyway, not the point. Point is, it's cold, and how do you keep warm without risking blowing up your house? That's pretty much all I want to know. Obviously, blankets and warm clothes and beanies, and I need to invest in, what are they called, thermals? I need to invest in those, because when I go out, yes, I'm wearing warm clothes, but I'm still freezing. So I think, I need to invest in some thermals. I used to have thermals, like, 10 years ago, and ended up getting rid of them. I don't know why. I don't even remember getting rid of them myself. So I don't know what happened to them. I don't know where they went. They're just gone. And I'm kind of sad about that, because, they were really useful. They were really handy. So probably going to invest in a few more of those. Thermal socks are definitely a savior. I never got rid of those. I've had them for 10 years, and they have been a blessing each and every time it gets cold. But anyway, probably enough about talking about how cold it is. Back to the build, hey, shall we? I do that a lot. I'll ramble about something and forget that we're supposed to be talking about the build, and then I'll try and bring it back, and then I ramble again. But as you saw, like, it's a pretty small house, and I end up just doing a little bit of landscaping. I'm actually going to pivot away from the build. I know I just said I was going to talk about it, but I have a build series coming up. It's not a build series, it's a build and cast series. I always forget to get a cast, and I'm so sorry to my cast people out there. It's a build and cast series. So if you're looking for a fun little challenge, it's a challenge, not a series. I get confused between challenge and series because this is a series. The A to Z challenge is a challenge. But basically each week you get a new letter and you do a build and or cast creation based on that letter. You don't have to do every week. You could just do one if you want. You could do, you don't even have to do both casts and building. You could just do one. You could alternate. You could do whatever you want, however you want. You could do week A, you do cast. Week B, you do building. Week C, you do nothing. Like, it's entirely up to you. But it's just a fun little challenge. And the only real hard and fast rule is if you're entering officially, no CC. So if you're not officially entering, you can use CC. It's really up to you guys. But there is a link down in the description. So if you do want to hear more about it, or get some ideas, or see the countdowns, like the timers for when they're due, or the hashtags that you need to upload to the gallery, which is the only place you need to upload anything. If you want to upload it elsewhere, you know, if you upload to YouTube or Instagram or I don't know where else, feel free to upload it wherever you want. But yeah, it's just upload it by that countdown time to the gallery, and yeah. Like I said, definitely check it out down below. It is linked down below. But yeah, if you want to see more builds like this as well, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.